Next on OU Nightly, a gunman on a rampage kills multiple students at an Oregon college. All executions are off in Oklahoma, and why Norman's water tastes so bad. This is OU Nightly. The Oregon Attorney General has confirmed that 13 people are dead and nearly 24 others are wounded at Oregon's Umpqua Community College.
Oregon's governor reported a half hour ago that the shooter, a 20-year-old male, is dead, killed by officers at the scene. 4 guns have now been recovered from the scene. The college is in Roseburg, about 3 hours south of Portland. That's where shots rang out at 10:38 a.m. Pacific time when classes were in session. These pictures at the community college were taken this morning by the town's newspaper. Police say they arrived to find multiple victims in several classrooms across campus and shortly thereafter engaged the shooter in gunfire. They show the chaos as officers responded to the shooting and emergency vehicles taking the wounded to the local hospital. Roseburg is a rural community in southwest Oregon. OU Nightly will bring you more details as they become available. And Attorney General Scott Pruitt has issued an indefinite stay for all scheduled executions in Oklahoma in light of the events that have unfolded in the Richard Glossip execution case.
Governor Mary Fallin issued a 37-day stay for Glossip's execution yesterday after learning the Department of Corrections did not have specified drugs identified in execution protocol.
Now there was a light drizzle out today, and it was actually really refreshing.
Yeah, I enjoyed a little bit of the rain coming in.
Definitely. What are we going to look forward to, Sawyer?
Yeah, guys, so we had a little bit of rain come through earlier this morning, and you can see that rain is starting to push on out. And then down here in the Atlantic, we have Hurricane Joaquin, which is gaining strength. Just was issued a Category 4 hurricane warning, especially for the Eastern Carolinas. But go ahead and take a look back here at the Sooner State. Our current conditions right now, 64 degrees outside. We're still having those overcast skies, a few breaks in the clouds, so we are seeing a little bit of sun. Winds north-northeast at 5 miles per hour, and the humidity is still up at 88%. Looking at current temperatures outside right now, you can see where the rain came through most of the during the early morning hours today, and we're seeing 64 here in Norman, 61 in Ada. And coming up in weather, cooler temps, game day forecast, and is there more rain in the forecast? I'll have more right in weather. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Sawyer. Under Sheriff Rick Weigel is taking over the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office following Sheriff Stanley Glan's resignation. A grand jury indicted Sheriff Glanz on 2 misdemeanor criminal charges and recommended he be removed from office. The charges stem from the killing of an unarmed man by Tulsa County Reserve Deputy Robert Bates. One of Glanz's colleagues reportedly told the grand jury he was pressured to sign off on memos saying Bates was qualified for duty. Glanz appeared briefly in court today and will return November 10th.
A Norman woman, Roxanne Hines, is being charged with animal cruelty. Police issued an arrest warrant Wednesday following the removal of 65 dogs from her home. The dogs had many health problems, including tumors, skin infections, dental disease, and severe fleas. 22 of these were puppies and 2 others were pregnant. Almost all had not been to the vet since 2013.
Congress avoided another government shutdown by approving a short-term spending bill just hours before the deadline. This will keep departments funded close to their current levels until December 11th. Oklahoma Senators Inhofe and Langford and Representatives Russell and Bridenstine voted against the bill to fund government into December. Representatives Cole, Lucas, and Mullen voted to pass the legislation.
OU Nightly's Hunter McKee joins us now in the News Center with the latest on airstrikes in Syria. Hunter?
Thank you, Ashley. The Russian Defense Ministry claims it carried out a series of airstrikes in Syria. The strikes involved 8 Su-24 and 25 jets. The ministry says it hit ISIS terrorist targets, but there are concerns the Russians targeted those who oppose the president of Syria, including groups that are supported by the U.S. and others in the West. And New Jersey Governor Chris Christie has declared a state of emergency because of Hurricane Joaquin. Weather patterns are unpredictable as of now, but the State Emergency Operations Center has been activated, and Christie warned all in the southern region of New Jersey to start preparing today. And the Obama administration set a national ozone standard today. This standard is in relation to smog-forming pollution, which is linked to asthma and respiratory illness. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, 70 parts per billion will decrease exposure to some of the dangerous ozone pollution. And lastly, researchers have discovered new findings from an ancient shipwreck off the coast of a Greek island. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Hunter. Chesapeake Energy layoffs are causing local charities and nonprofits to find other sources of funding. Chesapeake is known to be a major donor to community groups. In 2013, the company gave $32 million in donations, while in 2014, that number decreased to $10 million. Because of the recent cutbacks, nonprofits are looking to other industries for help.
President Bourne says he supports a campus Native Americans group's resolution to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day in place of Columbus Day on October 12th. The SGA Student Congress unanimously approved the resolution earlier this week, but a new change in the amendment's language required it to be sent back to the Senate. President Bourne now says he will pass it if it is presented to him. And still ahead on OU Nightly, why Norman's water just doesn't seem to taste right.
Plus, a new movement aims to cut down on nightlife smoking. Straight ahead on OU Nightly.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. Changing seasons brings unpleasant tap water to Norman residents. OU Nightly's Dylan Jasna explores the cause of the problem and what city officials are doing to solve it.
Water. It's something we use every day, from washing our clothes, taking showers, to hydrating. But some Norman residents say something is off with this everyday necessity. I did a non-scientific study to see if students could identify Norman water versus filtered water, and 9 out of 10 identified correctly.
I could definitely tell that A was the Norman water. It tasted kind of a little dirty, a little gritty.
It tastes funny, but B tastes purified, so that's how I know.
It just tastes like, there's an aftertaste. It tastes like lake water.
The problem is not what's coming out of the faucet, it's what lies beneath the murky waters here at Lake Thunderbird.
City officials say a combination of summer algae blooms and a seasonal lake turnover are the causes of the unpleasant taste and odor.
Cold water sinks and hot water rises. It actually flips and turns over the lake, so it really stirs up a lot of the organisms that make the taste and odor event.
The city of Norman rents a powdered activated carbon machine for 3 months to treat the problems from the lake turning over, but officials say it could take up to 4 weeks to see results. Until then, what you taste and smell is what you'll get. Dylan Jasna, OU Nightly.
Now, the city says it plans to invest $30 million into the water treatment plant in the next few years to help with the odor and taste of the water. And every Thursday, Aaliyah Covington joins us with Health Beat, and this month marks an awareness of an issue that primarily impacts women.
Yes, Eric, October marks Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and many women are curious if there's anything they can do to beat the odds. Health professionals say that prevention includes knowing your family health history as well as your personal risk factors. Lack of exercise and a high-calorie diet are linked to a higher risk in developing breast cancer. And after her double mastectomy, Angelina Jolie Pitt is making strides in breast cancer awareness. A new study from Austria reported that the actress and philanthropist increased the awareness of reconstructive breast surgery options for women. Researchers found that after Jolie Pitt's announcement in 2013, 92.6% of women in the study knew the breast cancer reconstruction was an option after a mastectomy, up from 88.9%. The polls were conducted online and included 1,000 Austrian women. And breast cancer isn't the only disease killing many Oklahomans. Smoking is Oklahoma's leading cause of preventable death, with the current adult smoking rate at almost 25%. 18 to 26-year-old demographic make up for a majority of smokers within the state. TSET, or Oklahoma Tobacco Settlement Endowment Trust Organization, is launching a movement to eliminate smoking from bars and clubs statewide.
Many of our 18 to 24-year-old or 26-year-old population are beginning to smoke, where in the old days we used to say if you could get a kid through high school without smoking, you were home free, and that's not true anymore.
T said officials are hopeful that this proposal will limit the temptation and exposure that young adults have to tobacco. And a new study found that long periods of inactivity could hinder blood circulation in children. Researchers measured girls between 7 and 10 years old for blood flow in their legs while they spent 3 hours in beanbag chairs watching movies. They found long sitting sessions correlated to a 33% decrease in the flexibility of the artery in the thigh. Health professionals say children could benefit from standing or moving 10 minutes every half hour. I wish my parents would have read that back in the day.
Yeah,
I was a
that's not good
kid.
news for me.
It's really good, though, for the kids to get up, move around a little bit every now and then.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Thanks, Aaliyah.
Thank you.
Bluebell will return to Oklahoma shelves next month. The ice cream will re-enter the Tulsa and Oklahoma City markets on November 2nd. A link to a listeria outbreak caused the product to be pulled from stores in April. The company has since implemented new quality and safety procedures for their product. Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Ricky Dixon, says they have received tremendous consumer support so far.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, a Florida boy is fighting 2 battles.
And Sawyer is standing by with weather.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Overcast skies still over campus. As we look towards the north, I'll have your forecast coming up right after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Sawyer Wells. Going ahead looking at our radar outside right now. You can see that those storms and showers did move on through the area earlier today. We're left with a few showers here or there, but don't expect much as we go on through the rest of this evening. Those will continue to push off to the southeast. Now your evening planner, 5 p.m. 70 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. We may see some drizzle here or there, but don't expect too much. 7 p.m. 65 and then 10 p.m. 58. Cloudy skies throughout the night, and that should clear up a little bit as we go on through the overnight and evening hours. Overnight lows tonight, we're expecting them to be in the low 50s, maybe upper 40s. 51 here in Norman, 54 in Idabel, and 50 up in Tulsa. Once again, afternoon high is going to be beautiful outside. 70 degrees here in Norman, so get outside if you can. 68 in the rest of the upper 60s in the rest of the area, and lower 70s as you go farther south. Now looking at our Soonercast, there's not much going on tonight. There's a dry line out to the west, but that's not going to impact us much. 68 again in Tulsa, or 68, excuse me, not in Tulsa, in Oklahoma City, 70 up in Tulsa. As we go throughout the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, that dry line is still going to remain out to the west. As you can see, there is some cold air that is trying to creep down. St. Louis in the 45, Kansas City chilly, 43 degrees. And as we go on throughout tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, 70 degrees in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. So it's going to be pretty nice outside. Now, we talked about Hurricane Joaquin earlier in the newscast. You can see down here in the Bahamas, Category 4 right now, wind speeds around 130 miles per hour sustained. You can actually see, if you follow the yellow line, that is the track that the hurricane hunters are taking on their plane as they go measure Hurricane Joaquin. Now, the models for Joaquin are a little messy right now. Some of them are saying that she'll impact the Carolinas the most, and some are saying she's going to impact up in New Jersey. Some of these areas, though, can expect up to a foot of rain, so that is quite a bit. Game day forecast, 59 degrees at the start, and northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, precip a 20% chance. Now, as we look at our 7-day forecast, you can see 70 degrees for Thursday and Friday. As we go on into Saturday, 69 degrees and 20% chance of some rain. And then as we go into the end of the weekend, into the earlier parts of next week, low 70s, maybe some upper 70s in the southern part of Oklahoma, and partly cloudy skies as we go on throughout. So game day, we may see a few showers here or there, but we shouldn't impact it too much.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, Sawyer.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And Carson Williams is here to tell us what's coming up in sports. Carson?
Thanks, Eric. The volleyball team dropped a tough one last night. Hear what Madison Ward had to say. And the Sooners will be sporting their alternates against West Virginia this weekend. I'll have that and more. Sports is straight ahead. I'm Carson Williams, and this is OU Nightly Sports. The Sooners announced today they'll be donning their Rough Rider alternates this week against West Virginia. Oklahoma also wore the alternate uniform in last year's win against the Mountaineers in Morgantown. The last time the Sooners sported the home alternates, though, the Baylor offense rolled over Oklahoma with a 48-14 victory. After the bye week last week, the Sooners are ready to return to action as they begin a demanding consecutive 9-week conference schedule. OU Nightly's Ethan Barton has more from the Sooners' week off.
After a well-timed bye week, the Sooners begin Big 12 play here at Memorial Stadium against West Virginia. Unable to buck last year's trend, the kickoff is slated for 11 a.m.
Bye weeks are always nice. I know those linemen up front they love that. They got a week off to get back into it. I mean, we would like to have had the bye week a little later in the season, but we got 9 straight and we're ready to go now. It came at a good time, so I think we're pretty much all healthy and ready to go.
It was good at least last week, Monday through Thursday, to get some extra work on West Virginia, as well as some extra work trying to improve really every part of our game and what we're doing.
I felt like this was a great opportunity, just for us to, kind of get our feet wet, a little bit before, and, now we can come back and actually just play football for the rest of the time.
I feel good. I'm ready to get back at it, too.
Sooner fans will be fresh-faced and ready to go as well. Ethan Barton, OU Nightly Sports.
And the Oklahoma volleyball team took on Iowa State at McCaslin Fieldhouse last night. Outside hitter Madison Ward gets a kill right here. But in the end, Iowa State proved too much, beating the Sooners 3-1 and dropping them to a 6-8 record on the season.
We had some really big highs in the game, in the match, offensively and defensively. But there are just a few things that we're still working out, just a few kinks we need to just work on both offense and defense that'll get us over the hump.
And it's been a long time coming for the Toronto Blue Jays. Last night, the boys from Canada clinched their first AL East title in 22 years after dropping the Orioles 15-2. At the end of July, Toronto was 8 games back of the first-place Yankees. But after some crucial free agent acquisitions, the Jays have won 42 of their last 56 games. And in the National League, my St. Louis Cardinals clinched the Central Division last night with an 11-1 win over the Pirates in the second game of a doubleheader. This marks the 3rd straight division title for the Cards and their 5th straight postseason appearance. And finally, we've got a little bit of good news from Bob Stoops. He spent part of his bye week last week in New York with Katie Nolan for her show Garbage Time. And they called it Stoops on Stoops, a little funny there. Somehow she managed to get Stoops out of his shell and away from the ho-hum coach talk.
Convince me. How do you feel about this stoop?
I kind of like this stoop. This is a little more my style. Got the graffiti, a little rough around the edges.
Convince me to come to Oklahoma, and then I'll let you know if I'm ready to verbally commit.
All right, well, first of all, we're going to give you about $5,000 a month just for spending money. Then we're going to feed you, all you want. We're going to fly your parents in every weekend to come see us, put them up. How am I doing so far?
You're doing okay. The problem is, Nick Saban was here last week, and he offered me $1 million, so, I don't...
Okay, we'll give you 2. We'll give you 2.
Great.
Guys, it's got to be pretty easy to be her. She just got offered $2 million to come play for OU.
It's good to see Bob Stoops having some fun too.
That might be a little like a violation or something.
Yeah, I think it's pretty garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
It is good to see him lighten up a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get some of that energy at our game.
Yeah, definitely. We'll hope to see that this weekend.
All right, thanks, Carson.
Yeah.
And still to come on OU Nightly, we'll have another look at the 7-day forecast.
And Florida deputies make a little boy's dream come true. Straight ahead on OU Nightly.
I'm Rebecca Walters at the OU Nightly Update Desk. OKC Zoo officials report a 4-year-old Asian elephant at the Oklahoma City Zoo died early this morning despite zookeepers' attempts at treatment. And thanks to an ordinance passed by Norman City Council last month, starting November 1st, it will be illegal to text and drive in Norman. And Bluebell Ice Cream announced today it will appear again in Tulsa and Oklahoma City stores starting November 2nd. Be sure to like us and follow OU Nightly on Facebook. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Rebecca. Pasco County, Florida deputies made a little boy's dream come true. 7-year-old Spencer Holt was taken on a zombie hunt. Armed with his zombie gun, he sent out to fight the Walking Dead. He is currently battling a fatal illness and spends most of his time in the hospital. The boy's mother, Cher Holt, says it was nice to see him do something different and special, and most of all, have fun. And it looks like a really good time.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun, I think, especially, being a little boy.
Kid.
He maybe watches that show, and so...
Definitely. And can we take another look at that 7-day forecast?
Yes, we can. So we're looking at 70 for today and tomorrow. As we go on to game day on Saturday, 69 degrees. We may see some showers earlier in the day. Game time's looking pretty nice. And then mid to lower 70s as we go on throughout Sunday, Monday, 82 on Tuesday. And then rain may make its way back into the forecast late next week. So it's looking pretty nice outside, and
It's good not to have 100-degree weather anymore.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, definitely cooling
It'll-
down a little bit.
It'll be nice for the game day. I'm excited.
Yes, it will.
Definitely.
It'll be very nice.
Thanks, Sawyer.
You're welcome.
And thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.